He was kicked out of his own boutique because he didn't look rich enough. The security camera flickers. An old man enters Veron Studio. His shoulders are hunched. His gray sweater is worn thin at the elbows. Mike Johnson, the security guard, steps forward, his eyes cold. "Sir, you can't be here." Chad Reynolds, the sales associate, looks up from his phone. He smirks. "Look at his shoes. They're falling apart." The old man lowers his eyes. His shoes are cracked leather. The laces are frayed. Narrator: "They didn't know he was the owner, but 30 minutes from now, they'll be begging for forgiveness." The camera cuts to his bedroom. Framed photos line the walls. Jackson West in a navy suit. Jackson shaking hands with partners. Jackson standing in front of Veron Studio's grand opening sign, but now he sits on the edge of his bed. His shoulders droop. His eyes are tired and quiet. He stares at the floor for a long time. Narrator: "He built an empire on one belief. Fashion should invite people in, not shut them out." He reaches for his worn leather shoes. His fingers trace the cracks along the seams. He exhales, a deep, shaky breath. Narrator: "Today, he will find out if his employees still remember that belief." Flashback. Jackson stands on a stage. Behind him is a large Veron Studio banner. Rows of employees sit before him, listening. His suit is dark gray. His tie is silver. He holds the microphone with steady hands. Jackson's voice is calm. Veron Studio exists for one reason, because everyone deserves respect, no matter what they look like, no matter how much they earn. He looks around the room. His eyes are clear. His face is full of quiet conviction. Some employees nod. Some glance at each other, unsure. Narrator: "He believed kindness was the true luxury, but beliefs mean nothing if people don't live them." The flashback fades. Jackson sits alone on his bed again. He closes his eyes. Jackson opens his closet. Inside hang rows of tailored suits, silk ties, shined leather shoes. He reaches past them. His hand pulls out an old gray sweater. Its threads are thin and frayed. He slips it over his white undershirt. He pulls on dark, worn jeans. He sits on a wooden stool and picks up his cracked leather shoes. His fingers tie the laces slowly. The leather creaks under his grip. He stands and looks in the mirror. His hair is neatly combed back. His eyes are clear, steady, unbreakable. Narrator: "Today he will test the very values he built his life on." He takes one final breath. Narrator: "But he doesn't know what he's about to see will break his heart." Jackson steps out of his front door. Gray clouds hang low in the sky. The air is heavy and still. He walks down the stone path to his car. His old canvas bag hangs from his shoulder. His hand grips the strap tight. The veins on his knuckles stand out. Narrator: "He owns a brand worth millions, but today he chooses to look like he owns nothing." The wind blows. His sweater flutters against his thin frame. He pauses at the gate. His eyes lift to the sky, then down to his shoes. Narrator: "He believes fashion should invite, not exclude. But will his employees remember what he taught them?" He takes a slow breath and steps onto the street. Jackson arrives at the flagship boutique. Tall glass doors gleam under the gray sky. He steps onto the marble entryway. His shoes squeak against the polished floor. Mike Johnson, the security guard, blocks his path. His arms cross over his chest. His eyes scan Jackson from head to toe. "Hey, old man, you lost?" His voice is flat, sharp. "This is Veron Studio. You don't belong here." Jackson lowers his gaze. He grips the strap of his canvas bag tighter. His breath shakes in his chest. Narrator: "He built this place. Every brick, every light, every door. But now he's just an old man in dirty shoes." Jackson nods slowly. His shoulders curl inwards. Jackson lifts his eyes. He points to a leather handbag displayed under a glass case. Its gold clasp shines under the boutique lights. Chad Reynolds, the sales associate, looks up from his phone. He walks over with a lazy grin. "You want to see that bag?" His voice drips with sarcasm. He glances at Jackson's sweater, then back at the bag. Chad laughs softly. "Do you even know how much it costs?" Jackson stays silent. His hand drops back to his side. Chad shakes his head. "Old man, that bag costs more than your entire life." Jackson's shoulders slump. His canvas bag hangs heavy against his thin frame. Narrator: "He designed that bag himself, but to them, he's just a worthless stranger." The glass doors slide open. Victoria Davis walks in. Her heels click softly on the marble floor. She wears a white cashmere coat and carries a gold clutch. Chad's eyes light up. He rushes to her side with a wide smile. "Miss Davis, welcome back. Let me get you some champagne." Another staff member hurries over. They pour golden champagne into a tall crystal flute. Bubbles rise to the surface in delicate streams. Jackson stands to the side. His eyes follow the glass as it sparkles under the lights. He clutches his old canvas bag closer to his chest. Narrator. Champagne for her, disgust for him. The same floor, the same brand. Two worlds that never touch. He looks down at his worn shoes. The laughter and greetings swirl around him, but none reach his ears. Mike Johnson steps forward. His shadow falls over Jackson. Sir, I told you, you need to leave. He grabs Jackson's arm and pushes him towards the door. Jackson stumbles. His shoes skid on the polished floor. Outside, the wind cuts cold against his face. He reaches out and grips the stone wall to steady himself. His fingers press into the rough surface. His shoulders shake as he catches his breath. Behind the glass doors, chandeliers glow warm and golden. Inside, Victoria Davis laughs with Chad. Champagne bubbles rise in her glass. Narrator. He built this place to welcome everyone. But now he stands outside, shut out like a beggar. Jackson looks down. Dirt clings to the frayed cuffs of his sweater. His canvas bag hangs heavy by his side. Jackson lowers himself onto the cold pavement. His knees ache as he sits down. He leans back against the stone wall and closes his eyes. His breath comes out in short, tired gasps. Each inhale feels heavy in his chest. He clutches his canvas bag to his lap. Cars glide past on the busy street. Black sedans, silver sports cars. Engines hum and tires whisper over the asphalt. From above, he looks small. One old man in a faded sweater, surrounded by shining machines. Narrator. They see him sitting there, and they think he is nothing. But in truth, he owns everything they see. He opens his eyes and stares at his reflection in the boutique window. His face looks pale and lonely against the glass. Inside the boutique, Brittany Miller stands behind the counter. She watches Jackson through the glass window. Her lips curl in disgust. She leans closer to Chad Reynolds and whispers, "He smells so bad. Disgusting." Chad laughs under his breath. He doesn't even look at Jackson sitting outside. Jackson lowers his head. His hair falls over his eyes. He grips his canvas bag tighter against his chest. Narrator. They mock him. They judge his smell, his clothes, his worth. Outside, a cold breeze brushes against his cheek. He shivers and pulls his sweater closer. Narrator. But there's something they don't know. He lifts his head slowly. His eyes are dark and steady. The camera moves closer to Jackson's face. His eyes are closed. Deep lines cut across his forehead. His lips press into a thin, trembling line. A single tear slides down his cheek. It catches in the stubble on his jaw. Another tear follows, leaving a thin, shining trail. He doesn't wipe them away. He just sits still. His shoulders rise and fall with each slow breath. Narrator. They see an old man crying alone on the street, but they don't see the years he spent building this brand. The sacrifices, the dreams, the hope. Jackson opens his eyes. They are red and wet, but clear. He looks up at the boutique sign above him. Veron Studio glows in gold against the dark glass. Narrator. Judging someone by how they look doesn't just lose customers. It destroys the very brand you built. Jackson keeps his eyes on the boutique sign. Gold letters reflect against the dark window. His tears blur the edges of each letter. He remembers the first day Veron Studio opened. He shook hands with suppliers. He thanked every worker by name. He promised his team that every person who walked in would be treated with respect. Now, he sees Brittany laughing behind the counter. Chad leans on the glass, scrolling his phone. Narrator. They think no one sees their cruelty, but cruelty rots everything it touches. Jackson wipes his cheek with the back of his hand. His shoulders straighten just a little. Inside the boutique, Ethan Carter stands near the shelves. His white apron is neatly tied around his waist. He holds a small box in his hands but doesn't move. His eyes are fixed on Jackson outside. He sees the old man sitting on the pavement, shoulders bent forward. He sees the tears on his wrinkled face. Ethan's grip tightens around the box. His knuckles turn white. His chest rises and falls with a quiet, shaky breath. He looks over at Brittany, who is laughing with Chad, then back at Jackson, alone in the cold. Narrator. He wants to help, but fear keeps his feet planted where he stands. Ethan lowers his eyes. He presses his lips together. His fingers tremble against the cardboard. Narrator. Respect is a core value that rises above every strategy. Jackson stays seated on the pavement. His hands rest on his knees. His fingers curl around the frayed fabric of his pants. He takes a slow breath. His shoulders lift and fall with quiet strength. The noise of the city moves around him. Horns, voices, footsteps. But he sits in stillness. His eyes remain fixed on the glass doors of Veron Studio. They reflect his image back at him. An old man in a gray sweater, a man who built everything behind those doors. Narrator. He taught them that kindness builds brands stronger than any campaign, but somewhere along the way, they forgot. He blinks and looks down at his shoes. The leather cracks widen like silent scars. Jackson places his hands on the pavement and pushes himself up. His knees crack as he stands. He wipes his palms on his jeans. The sky above is heavy with dark clouds. A single raindrop falls onto his hand. Then another lands on his cheek, mixing with his tears. He lifts his face to the sky. Rain begins to fall in thin, cold lines. It soaks into his gray sweater, darkening the fabric. Narrator. He walks away in the rain. No umbrella, no coat, just quiet footsteps fading into the city. Jackson grips the strap of his canvas bag tighter. His shoes splash through small puddles forming on the sidewalk. The world around him blurs behind the falling rain. Cut to the VIP dressing room. Bright lights glow around a large mirror. The room smells of clean leather and cedar. Jackson stands in front of the mirror. He pulls off his soaked gray sweater. Water drips onto the marble floor. He reaches for a crisp white shirt. The fabric slides smoothly over his arms. He buttons it up with quiet, steady hands. Next, he slips into a tailored navy suit. The shoulders fit perfectly. He tightens a silk tie around his neck. Jackson picks up his sunglasses from the counter. He places them over his eyes. His reflection stares back. No longer an old man in rags. Now, the owner of Veron Studio. Narrator. 5 minutes ago, they saw a beggar. Now they will meet their boss. Jackson steps out of the VIP dressing room. His polished shoes tap softly on the marble floor. His navy suit hugs his shoulders perfectly. The silver tie clip glints under the hallway lights. Outside, rain falls in thin sheets onto the city streets. A black Rolls-Royce waits at the curb. Its chrome grille shines through the gray morning. The driver steps forward and opens the rear door. "Good morning, Mr. West," he says with a nod. Jackson lowers his sunglasses slightly. He looks at the boutique entrance across the street. Behind the glass, staff move back and forth, unaware. Narrator. Just an hour ago, he was pushed onto the pavement. Now, the world bows to greet him. Jackson steps into the car. The leather seat creaks under his weight. He exhales slowly as the door closes behind him. The Rolls-Royce stops in front of Veron Studio. Jackson steps out. Rain falls lightly onto his suit, but he doesn't flinch. Mike Johnson sees him first. His eyes widen. His hands drop to his sides. Chad Reynolds looks up from his phone. The color drains from his face. He swallows hard, throat bobbing. Brittany Miller stands frozen behind the counter. Her mouth opens slightly, but no words come out. Jackson walks past them without a glance. His shoes leave small wet prints on the polished floor. Narrator. An hour ago they saw a worthless old man. Now they see the owner, the man who pays their salaries. Mike's hands shake as he tries to greet him. "Mr. West, we didn't know." Jackson's sunglasses hide his eyes. His face remains calm and unreadable. Jackson stops in the center of the boutique. The room is silent. All eyes are on him. Slowly, he reaches up and removes his sunglasses. His eyes are sharp, cold, unblinking. He looks at Mike, then at Chad, then at Brittany. None of them speak. They stand frozen in place. Jackson's voice cuts through the silence. Deep, calm, unforgiving. "Fashion is an invitation," he says. "Not an exclusion." He turns his gaze to Chad. "To think you laughed at a customer for looking poor." Then to Mike. "To think you pushed someone out without knowing who they were." Narrator. "They forgot his words. Now, they will remember." Jackson's jaw tightens. His eyes burn with quiet disappointment. Jackson turns to the store manager standing near the back counter. His eyes narrow slightly. "Pull up the CCTV footage," he says. "Show me everything from the last 7 days." The manager swallows hard. "Sir, right now." Jackson doesn't blink. "Now." Mike lowers his head, his hands clasped tightly in front of him. Chad shifts from foot to foot, eyes darting to the security cameras above. Brittany's face pales. She bites her lip, saying nothing. Narrator. "They thought no one saw their cruelty, but the cameras never lie." The manager nods quickly and walks to the back office. Jackson remains standing, silent and still. His presence feels heavy in the quiet store. The screen flickers as CCTV footage loads. Jackson stands watching, arms crossed. First clip, Mike the security guard takes a wedge from a well-dressed man. He slips the bills into his pocket without looking around. Then he waves the man past the waiting line. Jackson's jaw tightens. Mike stares at the floor, face burning red. Next clip, Chad Reynolds is in the stockroom. He holds up a leather handbag and speaks into his phone. "Tell him we'll raise the price by 20%. He'll still buy it. He's desperate for this release." Jackson's eyes narrow further. Chad's hands shake as he watches the screen. Narrator. They didn't just disrespect customers, they robbed them, betrayed the brand, betrayed him. The footage stops. Silence fills the boutique. Jackson stands silent for a moment. His eyes sweep across every employee in the boutique. No one meets his gaze. Mike stares at the floor. Chad grips the counter edge, knuckles white. Brittany clutches her tablet to her chest. Jackson's voice is low but cuts through the room like a blade. You turned this place into a private club, he said. Says. Veron Studio was never built for exclusion. His eyes move from person to person. Each glance lands heavy on their shoulders. Narrator. He built Veron Studio to welcome everyone, but today he sees how far they've fallen from his vision. Jackson exhales slowly. The lines around his mouth harden. His eyes remain cold. No pity, no forgiveness, only quiet anger. Jackson looks away from Chad and Mike. His eyes soften just slightly. Ethan Carter, he says. His voice echoes in the silent store. Ethan jolts. He quickly sets down the box in his hands. His fingers tremble as he steps forward. Yes, sir? His voice is small. Jackson nods once. Emily Scott. Emily looks up from folding scarves near the back wall. Her eyes widen. She hesitates before walking forward. Her hands twist together nervously. Ethan and Emily stand side by side in front of Jackson. Neither knows where to look. Their shoulders are tense. Their breaths are shallow. Narrator. They feel the weight of his stare. They don't know what he will say next. Jackson looks at them in silence. The room holds its breath. Jackson looks at Ethan and Emily. For the first time that morning, his lips curve into a small smile. Both of them blink in surprise. Their shoulders relax just slightly. Jackson's voice is calm and clear. Ethan Carter, he says. Emily Scott. They straighten, eyes wide. Starting today. He pauses. The silence hangs heavy in the boutique. Chad and Brittany stare, stunned. I am appointing you both as branch managers. Ethan's mouth falls open. His chest rises quickly as he sucks in a shaky breath. Emily's eyes fill with tears. Her hands cover her mouth. Narrator. Respect, kindness, integrity, the true qualities of leadership. Jackson nods at them once. His smile remains small but sure. Ethan blinks rapidly. Tears gather along his lower lashes. He presses his lips together to keep them from trembling. Emily wipes her eyes quickly with the back of her hand. Her shoulders shake with quiet relief. She looks down, trying to steady her breath. Around them, the other employees stand silent. No one claps, no one congratulates them. Instead, heads lower, eyes drop to the floor. Shame fills the air like a heavy fog. Chad's jaw clenches tight. Brittany bites her lip and turns away. Mike shifts his feet, staring at his shoes. Narrator. They see now who true leaders are. Not the loudest voices, not the richest clothes, but those who treat everyone with dignity. Jackson watches Ethan and Emily. His eyes soften with quiet pride. Jackson turns to face all the employees. His voice is firm, calm, and clear. From today forward up to so, he says, there is no more VIP-only policy here. Ethan and Emily lift their heads. Hope flickers in their eyes. Jackson continues. Veron Studio will return to its core value. He pauses. The boutique is silent. Only the soft hum of the lights fills the air. Everyone is welcome. His words hang heavy, pressing into every heart in the room. Narrator. Kindness, respect, inclusion. These are the threads that hold a brand together. Jackson scans each face. His gaze is steady, unbreakable. His shoulders relax as he exhales a slow breath. The screen fades to black. Soft piano music plays in the background. Slowly, white words appear against the dark screen. Veron Studio. Below it, a new line forms. Letters glow with quiet strength. Everyone is welcome. Narrator. For years, Veron Studio stood for elegance. From today, it stands for something greater. The music swells gently. The logo remains still and silent. Each letter feels grounded, certain, unshakable. Narrator. Because true luxury is respect. The screen holds the logo for a moment longer, then fades to black again, leaving only silence. Narrator. True leadership isn't built on data alone. It requires presence. Being there, seeing, listening. The screen shows Jackson standing out at the boutique entrance. His suit is sharp and clean. Rain drips from the edge of the awning behind him. He looks out onto the street. Cars pass. People walk by under umbrellas. Narrator. Numbers can tell you sales, but they can't tell you the culture you've created. Only your eyes and your heart can see that truth. Jackson exhales softly. His gaze remains focused and calm. Narrator, leadership means stepping onto the floor, not just reading reports from way above. The rain continues to fall around him. He stands silent, thinking. Narrator, have you ever been judged just by how you look? The screen fades to black. White words appear slowly. Comment, I've been there if this story touched you. A moment of silence follows. Then the text fades out. Another line appears, glowing softly. And if you think this is the last story, the music deepens, a single low piano note echoing. You've never heard what happened at the second branch. The words hold still on the screen, then everything fades to black again. Narrator, because leadership never ends with just one lesson. Silence returns. The screen stays empty, leaving only the echo of thought.